see as the main problem of our age? Carnegie saw the main problem of our age is the proper administration of wealth to ensure that the rich and the poor remain connected in a harmonious society. In earlier society, masters and workers lived similarly, but the rise of factories and large businesses created extreme wealth for a few while leaving many in difficult working conditions. However, he did not see the inequality as inherently bad. He argued that wealth concentration was necessary for progress, but that the rich had a moral obligation to use their surplus wealth for the benefit of society. His solution was philanthropy, funding education, libraries, and public institutions to improve social conditions. In today's world, we face a similar issue but on an even larger scale. The wealth gap has grown wider, with billionaires accumulating unprecedented amounts of money, while many struggle with rising living costs, student debt, and stagnant wages. Unlike in Carnegie's time, where industrialists built physical infrastructure like railroads and factories, today's wealth is often concentrated in technology, finance, and digital industries, where fewer workers benefit directly. Additionally, many wealthy individuals now use their money to influence politics, avoid taxes, or invest in space travel rather than addressing pressing social issues like poverty and climate change. In the end, the question remains, should the ultra-rich be trusted to voluntarily give back, as Carnegie suggested, or should wealth be redistributed through stronger government policy? What do you see as the problem of wealth in this age? If I were to ask what the main problem of wealth is, my answer would be greed. From what I see in this generation, the main problem of wealth in this age is the greed of the wealthy. Even though they already have more than enough, they continue to accumulate wealth, often to the expense of the lower class. Many of them prioritize profit and power over ethical considerations, not caring whether their money is earned fairly or through exploitation. As long as they maintain dominance, they are willing to overlook the struggles of those who need them. Meanwhile, the poor continue to work hard but are not fairly compensated for their labor due to corruption and economic inequality. Despite their efforts, they remain trapped in poverty, while the wealthy grow even richer. This results in a system where wealth does not circulate properly. Money stays concentrated in the hands of a few rather than being distributed in a way that benefits society as a whole. The real issue is that even though the rich have the capacity to help those in need, many choose not to. Instead of using their wealth to improve society, they focus on maintaining and increasing their fortunes, disregarding the hardships of the poor. This cycle of greed and inequality prevents economic and social progress, making it difficult for lower-income individuals to improve their situation. What were the conditions of production in the age prior to Carnegie's? Before Carnegie's era, production was small-scale and localized. Most goods were made by hand in small workshops or booths. Masters and apprentices worked closely together, creating a sense of equality. There were no large factories or mass production, which meant that production was lower and limited in quantity. This system fostered strong personal relationships in the workplace, but lacked efficiency. What was wrong with the products of the age prior to Carnegie's? The biggest problem with pre-industrial products was their high cost and inconsistency. Since everything was handmade, quality varied, and goods were expensive, making them inaccessible to many people. Production was also slow, so there was a limited supply of goods. Industrialization solved these issues by introducing mass production, which made products cheaper, more standardized, and widely available. However, this shift also led to harsh working conditions and the separation of workers from the products they made. This shows that handmade products were often of inconsistent quality, expensive, and produced at a slower pace. Industrialization solved these issues by making goods cheaper, more standardized, and widely available. However, Carnegie also acknowledged that this shift led to economic inequality and the loss of close relationships between employers and workers.
Why does Carnegie accept the great gap between the wealth of the billionaire and the relative poverty of the laborer? contends that the great irregularity that results from concentration of wealth is better yet universal scalar, with the implications being that the prevalence of the wealth is a select privilege few mix of such advancements of civilization as literature, arts, and social refinements possible to benefit everyone at least indirectly. Carnegie states much better to great irregularity than universal scalar, maintaining that without wealth there would be no patrons of the Mecennas type to fund cultural advancement. Carnegie attributes this separation from the law of competition, which he believes is necessary to human progress. It is something that he believes guarantees the survival of the fittest and material progress and technology. He assures us that while the law may be sometimes hard for the individuals, it is best for the race that the public good for economic growth is worth workers' suffering. He views efforts to close this gap by ideologies such as socialism or communism as unworkable and perilous, handling the individualism of the vibrant property of the pillars of the civilization to Carnegie. The chance between the wealth of the natural result of a system that honors ability and effort of the few. It is hopeless to resist. It is a waste of time to criticize the individual. But Carnegie's pardon the vacuum of the condition. He opines the rich and have a moral obligation to themselves, to mankind, and put their wealth to the beneficial use of their lifetime and not take a season. He suggests that the millionaires become trustees of the world, using it to create ladders upon which the aspiring to ascend. Cards